This is the new Toyota Land Cruiser, and it's a little bit like a total solar eclipse was back in 2007.
While the world was busy chasing electric cars, Toyota's CEO was quietly preparing something no one saw coming. A small hybrid SUV built on a truck chassis, with Land Cruiser power and a price that undercuts Tesla. It's not just smarter than an EV, it might be better. No charging, no range anxiety, and it's built for the real world, not showroom dreams. Is this the car that exposes the limits of the EV revolution? Let's go! The mini Land Cruiser that could outsell EVs. Toyota has just thrown a wrench into the entire electric vehicle industry, and it's not with some flashy new EV, but with a small SUV that might be the smartest thing they've ever built. While Tesla keeps chasing range records and BYD floods the market with battery-powered compacts, Toyota has gone in the opposite direction. They've unveiled a compact hybrid SUV so rugged, so precisely engineered, and so globally practical that it may leave every electric rival scrambling to catch up. This isn't a concept car or a marketing gimmick. It's real, it's coming soon, and it's wearing one of the most trusted names in off-road history. So what exactly is this mini Land Cruiser? Why is Toyota betting everything on a hybrid in an EV-dominated market? And could this SUV really wipe the floor with electric cars in 2025? The vehicle itself still doesn't have a single global name, but depending on where it launches, it's being referred to as the Mini Land Cruiser FJ, or the Toyota Land Hopper. Each name carries the same message. It's a smaller, smarter evolution of one of Toyota's most iconic vehicles ever. This new compact SUV is expected to make its full public debut in late 2025, with global sales rolling out in early 2026. And it's not just riding on legacy branding. This thing is built for work, built for the real world, built for the millions of drivers around the globe who need something tougher than a hatchback, but more sensible than a full-size SUV. What makes it even more impressive is the platform it's built on, Toyota's IMV Zero Ladder Frame Chassis. Now, for those unfamiliar with auto engineering, a ladder frame design is what most trucks and hardcore off-roaders use. Unlike unibody cars, where the body and frame are one piece, ladder frame vehicles have a separate, truck-like understructure. This makes them far more resistant to stress, bending, and off-road abuse. And using it in a compact SUV, that's rare. It gives this vehicle the strength of a pickup truck, but with the maneuverability of a city car. The IMV Zero platform has already been tested in vehicles like the Hilux Champ and Fortuner, so Toyota isn't experimenting. It's applying proven tech to a new form factor. Here's what else makes this SUV stand out. It's not electric. And that's not an accident. It's the point. While nearly every major automaker is pushing battery-only models, Toyota's CEO and leadership team have taken a very different stance. Instead of joining the all-EV arms race, they've equipped this compact Land Cruiser with a 2.0-liter petrol engine, paired with a next-generation hybrid system. Early performance figures suggest between 170 to 180 horsepower, with torque output that rivals vehicles twice its size. That might not sound revolutionary until you consider what it means in real-world use. It can crawl up rocky trails, cruise effortlessly on highways, and squeeze through urban traffic, all without depending on a charging network that, in many places, simply doesn't exist. And this isn't just about specs. It's about strategy. Toyota designed this SUV to work everywhere, whether it's navigating narrow alleys in Tokyo, enduring dust storms in Morocco, climbing mountain roads in Peru, or crossing pothole-ridden towns in Pakistan. This hybrid is meant to function in the places where EVs currently fail. That's why Toyota made it light, efficient, and versatile. You can refuel it anywhere in minutes. It doesn't rely on fragile grid infrastructure, and it's rugged enough to serve as a workhorse in developing regions, yet still refined enough for modern cities. So why did Toyota choose hybrid now? because they believe the world isn't ready for full electrification yet, and they're not alone. While media hype surrounds EVs, there are still massive global gaps in infrastructure, millions of roads without chargers, countries with unreliable power grids, and economies where battery replacements cost more than the average annual income. Toyota's leadership has called this out directly. In fact, both Akio Toyoda, who is Toyota's former president and still an influential board member, and Koji Sato, Toyota's current CEO, have warned repeatedly that the global EV push is ignoring the realities most consumers face. In one now famous quote, Toyota stated, "The enemy is carbon, not the internal combustion engine." And what he meant is simple. It's not about whether a car runs on gas or battery. It's about how much pollution it produces, how long it lasts, and how well it fits into everyday life. For many regions, hybrids are the most realistic path to reducing emissions without overwhelming local infrastructure. Sato has echoed this thinking, describing hybrid technology as the practical bridge to full electrification. Instead of forcing consumers into EVs that don't suit their environment or budget, Toyota is offering a more balanced solution. That approach is baked into every decision behind this vehicle. The 2.0-liter hybrid powertrain allows it to drive silently on electric-only mode in urban traffic, cutting fuel use and emissions, while the petrol engine kicks in during high-demand situations, like off-roading or highway cruising. There's no range anxiety, no long charging stops, and no sudden power drop in cold weather, all problems that still plague today's EVs. And because the vehicle is smaller than a traditional Land Cruiser, it's easier to drive, park, and maintain without losing that DNA of reliability and ruggedness. Another clever detail is how Toyota is positioning the SUV for modular production across global regions. Because it shares architecture with other Toyota workhorses, it can be locally assembled in markets like Southeast Asia, South America, and Africa using existing supply chains. This lowers costs, avoids import tariffs, and allows Toyota to customize trims based on regional needs, whether that's extra ground clearance for rural India or extra tech features for European cities. This isn't just a new car, it's a direct challenge to the EV industry. While others pour billions into electric vehicles that many markets simply can't support, Toyota is building something that works right now. Their compact Land Cruiser blends proven engineering, global practicality, and smart design into a hybrid SUV that could outsell EVs, not by being flashier, but by being more reliable and realistic. It's not made for Silicon Valley. It's made for everyone else. And in the parts of the world where power outlets are rare and roads are unforgiving, it may just change everything. Why Toyota rejected the EV race, and why they might be right. In a move that has quietly rocked the global auto industry, Toyota's leadership has recently confirmed what most automakers have refused to admit. Electric vehicles are not the future for everyone. This isn't speculation or vague criticism, it's a data-driven, market-tested shift in strategy that directly challenges the current EV narrative. While companies like Tesla, BYD, and Volkswagen continue pouring billions into expanding their electric lineups, Toyota has gone the other way. And what they've uncovered through years of global field research is something that should send a chill down the spine of every automaker chasing battery-only solutions. Most of the world simply cannot support a full-scale EV transition. Not now, and not for a very long time. So if EVs aren't the answer, what is? Start by looking at the numbers. In large parts of Africa, South Asia, Southeast Asia, South America, and even in remote regions of North America and Europe, public charging infrastructure is either incomplete or non-existent. In Pakistan, there are fewer than 100 public EV charging stations across the entire country. In Indonesia, a country of over 270 million people, that number hovers around 600. In sub-Saharan Africa, Outside of South Africa, the numbers drop off almost entirely. And even in the United States, more than 30% of rural counties have no public charging infrastructure at all. That's not just inconvenient, it's a deal breaker. The issue isn't limited to charging stations. The very nature of electric vehicles, long charge times, limited range, and inconsistent performance in extreme climates makes them unsuitable for many real-world conditions. Cold weather reduces battery efficiency by up to 40%. Excessive heat causes lithium-ion battery packs to degrade more quickly, leading to shorter lifespans and higher maintenance costs. For a buyer in Nairobi or New Delhi or Buenos Aires, replacing a battery after only 5 or 6 years isn't just an expense, it's a financial disaster. In many of these markets, the cost of a new EV battery equals nearly half the cost of the entire vehicle. That doesn't add up for middle-income families. Then there's the issue of travel range. For drivers in dense cities, short-range EVs might be enough. But in the real world, where someone might need to drive hundreds of kilometers across rural terrain or carry out long-haul trips without guaranteed access to a fast charger, range anxiety becomes more than just a psychological barrier. It's a logistical threat. Imagine needing to wait 45 minutes to 1 hour just to gain a partial charge in an area where power outages are frequent, chargers are sparse, and road conditions are unpredictable. The time lost, the risk involved, and the uncertainty introduced simply make EVs a poor fit for many lifestyles. So why hasn't anyone else said this out loud? One reason is political pressure. Governments, especially in Europe and North America, are heavily invested in electrification and have tied public funding, incentives, and regulatory frameworks to battery electric vehicles. For car makers dependent on those markets, speaking against the trend risks alienating lawmakers, climate activists, and investor sentiment. But Toyota has always been slightly different. More pragmatic, more research-driven, and more focused on durability and scalability. Their hybrid vehicles have been operating globally for over 2 decades, giving the company a massive reservoir of real-world user data across all climate zones, road types, and driving habits. What they've learned from that is now reshaping their product roadmap. Instead of doubling down on full electrification, Toyota has chosen to reinvest in hybrid systems, vehicles that can run on electricity for short urban trips, but fall back on efficient combustion engines when longer range or greater power is needed. Refueling a hybrid takes less than 5 minutes. It requires no new infrastructure. And Toyota's latest battery tech, now 30% more efficient than previous generations, extends electric mode performance while improving battery life and reducing environmental stress. Their hybrid systems are also lighter and simpler than most EV drivetrains, meaning they cost less to produce, less to repair, and can operate reliably for many years in tough conditions. This decision also makes Toyota's hybrids far more affordable than the average EV. In emerging economies, where vehicle financing is limited and monthly income is modest, paying the equivalent of $35,000 or $40,000 for a base EV is out of reach. A compact hybrid SUV, especially one as versatile as the upcoming Mini Land Cruiser, can be priced closer to $27,000 or $30,000, while still offering fuel savings, off-road capability, and long-term durability. That combination makes it viable for a much wider customer base. Another major advantage is resale value. While EVs tend to depreciate rapidly once their batteries begin to age, hybrids, especially from brands like Toyota, retain value more effectively. In markets where fuel still dominates, a used hybrid remains useful and resellable. It can be passed down through families, sold across borders, or traded in after a decade of use with minimal issues. That's a level of life cycle stability most electric cars simply can't match. What Toyota is doing here isn't just about rejecting EVs. It's about realigning their product strategy with how the world actually works, not how marketing departments wish it worked. Their compact hybrid SUV is a reflection of that thinking. And it's not just aimed at one type of driver. The Mini Land Cruiser has been designed for multiple use cases, multiple geographies, and multiple types of customers. It's compact enough for daily urban commutes, strong enough for weekend off-road getaways, and resilient enough to function as a primary vehicle in remote or developing regions. Whether you're a city-based professional, a rural commuter, or someone who needs a reliable vehicle for adventure and hauling, Toyota wants to offer a configuration that fits your life. That's why this model will likely offer both two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive variants, giving buyers flexibility based on their environment and driving needs. For countries with rougher road conditions, the AWD variant becomes a vital upgrade. For those in cities, the more affordable 2WD version saves on cost without compromising quality. That type of modular approach is what allows Toyota to scale production across regions without overcomplicating the supply chain. In fact, Toyota has structured its entire manufacturing plan around this philosophy. By using the IMV zero-ladder frame chassis, already proven in the Hilux Champ and Fortuner, they can produce this SUV using shared parts and existing assembly infrastructure. That means lower production costs, fewer specialized tools, and more consistency across regions. More importantly, it allows for local assembly and localization of components, reducing import duties, creating local jobs, and bringing prices down even further. What this SUV actually offers: specs, features, and real-world benefits. What exactly has Toyota put inside this compact SUV that makes it a legitimate threat to electric cars and even some traditional off-road rivals? The answer starts with the one thing that separates Toyota from most of its competitors: engineering that's designed not just for marketing brochures or perfect road conditions, but for real-world use in tough environments. This new Mini Land Cruiser might look small at first glance, but underneath, it's carrying a level of hardware that places it squarely in competition with much larger and more expensive vehicles. It's not just about styling or branding, it's about what it can actually do. And what it can do is shockingly impressive for something this size. Start with the chassis. Unlike most small crossovers that are built on lightweight car-like platforms, this SUV uses the IMV zero-ladder frame platform, the same structural design found in rugged trucks like the Hilux Champ and the Toyota Fortuner. A ladder frame chassis is exactly what it sounds like: a strong, separate frame that sits beneath the body, shaped like a ladder. This design is heavier than a unibody, but it's far stronger, especially when it comes to flexing under heavy loads or absorbing impacts off-road. It also allows the vehicle to take more abuse on rough terrain, ideal for gravel, mud, sand, or unpaved village roads that would rattle most crossovers to pieces. The ground clearance is expected to be over 200 millimeters, putting it on par with far larger SUVs. And it's not just a cosmetic number. That clearance, paired with compact overhangs and thoughtful geometry, gives this SUV the ability to tackle inclines, water crossings, and uneven surfaces with surprising confidence. But what really sets it apart is the drivetrain. Toyota is expected to offer both two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive versions, with the AWD models equipped with features like hill hold assist crawl control and torque vectoring, tools that help distribute power and grip more intelligently when the road disappears or traction is compromised. This means that although it may be smaller in footprint than a Toyota Prado or Ford Bronco, it's designed to perform in many of the same environments. Toyota has deliberately benchmarked this model against off-road icons like the Suzuki Jimny, the Jeep Renegade, and the Ford Bronco Sport. But with one critical difference: it comes with the Land Cruiser name, which is trusted across decades of global use. Unlike newer off-roaders that have to prove their credibility, this SUV borrows from a lineage that's already done that in war zones, deserts, and remote mountain villages around the world. Now, you might be wondering, if the outside is this rugged, does the inside feel as Spartan and basic as some older off-road vehicles? That's where things get interesting. Toyota has taken great care to ensure that this SUV doesn't feel like a truck from the inside. Instead, it blends utility with comfort in a way that feels premium but never delicate. There's a digital instrument cluster behind the wheel, giving drivers access to real-time data like fuel efficiency, battery usage, terrain mode, and system diagnostics. There's also wireless charging, multiple USB-C ports, and even rear AC vents. A small detail that matters immensely in hotter climates or when carrying passengers. The seats are well cushioned and ergonomically designed, with Toyota reportedly offering a choice between durable cloth for rugged use or synthetic leather for higher trims. The interior layout makes use of clever packaging, which means that despite being a compact SUV, the legroom and headroom feel surprisingly generous, especially in the back seats. The flat floor design, combined with foldable rear seats, also allows for flexible cargo configurations, ideal for carrying camping gear, tools, or groceries, depending on your lifestyle. Finally, we come to pricing. One of the biggest factors in the vehicle's potential success is its affordability. Global pricing estimates put the starting cost of this hybrid SUV between $27,000 to $30,000, depending on trim level and market. That's thousands of dollars cheaper than the base Tesla Model 3, which starts at around $39,000, and cheaper than the BYD Atto 3, which hovers around $34,000. And when you consider the hidden costs of EV ownership, like home charger installation, increased electricity bills, and battery degradation, the value of Toyota's hybrid becomes even more apparent. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the next video for more exciting content.